I hope you guys can hear the intro over most of that plastic wrap. But we are getting into game number 1. Here are the finals. Blly just... okay then. In game number 1 here in the grand finals of the Corsair Cup, spawning in the bottom right side, he's feeling confident about his win. Hasn't even gotten that first game yet. It's going to be Blly. Hashtag rely on Blly.
In the top left, as the red Terran, it is KeeN.
Alright, so... Oh, KeeN just saying I'm fine. I mean, the thing is, I don't know if Blly and KeeN know each other, if this is like actually cheekiness or like friendly banter or what the deal is, but I gotta say at this point, I think it's safe to say like KeeN and other Koreans just don't seem that affected by the latency issue coming to Europe. At least not enough to complain about it that we've ever seen.
Yeah, they actually don't complain. So it's one thing to play in a tournament, but it's another to never ever hear them say, "Oh, if only that ping, didn't spike," or "If only I was on America." Like they actually just keep pretty quiet.
And then they just show up next week and try it again, and the next week, and the next week. I think for Blly though, I mean, whether he's joking about tanks or not, we are still on pre-on terraces. This map has been rotated out of the ladder officially at this point, and will be gone for future tournament use. So we won't have to see this map. In fact, this is the last time you'll see it on BaseTradeTV. So enjoy it while you can, I suppose.
Which means not at all.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this map, and I haven't been since like day 1. But it has given us some cool games. So I'm not gonna say like, oh my god, I wish we had never gotten it in the first place. I wish you'd never been born, Dad. But Blly is certainly gonna be the one who likes having gold bases. I can't say he's gonna necessarily like walk over KeeN or anything like that, but this should favorably go well for him in map number 1.
Probably.
I guess the question is, does Blly go for an all-in, do you think? Or do you think he goes macro on this?
No, I don't think he goes for an all-in. At least not like a super duper early one, like a Baneling Bust. Maybe a Roach Ravager attack, one that will catch KeeN's lack of tank control off guard. Actually, I think that would be the most ideal situation, because defending those pushes, especially on pre-on terraces, relies a lot on having good tank control.
Well, without that speed, can't get on top of the Reaper, so just kind of backing away for the time being. Speed is a little over halfway finished, but I mean, there's really not a lot of emphasis and priority. It's just the one Reaper. He would like to deny scouting, obviously, but not a big deal if it actually gets by. Blly, however, doesn't have a fast Overlord speed coming out or anything, so he doesn't have any vision on the main, and he hasn't scouted yet, which is a little worrisome.
A little, I suppose. He's trying to get in there now.
It's not majorly scary, but you do got to worry about Terrans of any variety hitting up with like a Hellbat all-in. You want to look at that armory early on, or consequently see if there's a third CC for you to take advantage of, which KeeN actually is pretty notorious for doing, and in fact is doing this game.
That actually is a really good point. You see the Hellions too, and you're gonna be a little worried. And the Overlord unfortunately was denied by Marines, so just a lot of like warning bells that say don't be as greedy as possible, like first and foremost. But if they try and get a check in later, Justlings for now. I brought up Roach Ravager, and that used to be Blly's bread and butter. That and Nidus Worms, like every single game, because that's what a lot of people were doing every single game. But now more than ever, I view him as a muta player. Whether that's like transferring into mutas, out of mutas, with Ling and Banelings is kind of like, I guess, up in the air a little bit, but pre-on terraces is usually not a muta map. So I'd be really surprised if he just stays on Lings this entire time.
Bit of chaos in the natural. I mean, KeeN even have to shuffle some of these SCVs around. The Hellings are starting to clean it up, but it's got a little bit more messy than I think he was anticipating. But for Blly, third finishes up back at home. He's starting a Carapace upgrade first. Interesting. Normally we see melee or range be the choice.
Yeah. Almost looks like a mistake because the second evolution chamber is so, close to also being done.
Well, the layer starts up and gases are getting taken. We'll see if a Roach Worm plops down or not. I mean, one thing that's safe to say is, well, Blly is a player who's completely capable of playing like Roach Ravager all in. And I think that might be part of why he goes Carapace first, because he still hasn't decided what he wants to do. He's also a player who very much likes mutas. Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. But it is going to be Roaches, and that could very well just be because the map really dictates that you go for it. So, at least for now, upgrading the Roaches. KeeN, we brought up like all-ins and what Blly has to worry about, but we knew that KeeN was going for a fast third CC, so at the very least, he's going to get this really nice like initial boost, and hopefully that will carry over into whatever defense he has to make. Like that 1 extra tank, or the 2 extra medevacs, or the 8 extra marines, something like that, can be very, very useful. Especially if you feel confident enough in taking it out as a gold base, instead of just the regular base that we, like 9 times out of 10, I feel we see on TvZ in this map, especially because, you know, they're usually not going for such a super fast third. They're going to take it safely. Whereas this is before Blly has any units out, so.
Oh, and that scan just timed out. I don't believe he saw the Spire come down. No, he didn't. So, I mean, this is, again, like the Roaches may have been like mid-game defense, maybe just think about later game of Broodlords or whatever the case may be, but Blly is a guy who can play and bounce around tech. But what's odd to me is the way he's playing this build, minus the late evolution chamber, really does feel more like he's playing versus Protoss, not versus Terran.
What? I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen this thing here. It's not really with a lot of medevacs, just the 1 and the tank, but it has stim, so that's enough to be very, very scary, even without any of the other upgrades here.
No corrosive biles ready to go. It's just a bunch of roaches.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of creeps for to get through when you see that roaches were actually already made, so not really pushing in here, probably the better option. If he pushes in, gets surrounded, gets taken care of, then his third base is up for grabs, and that would be, well, no good, basically. KeeN does not know that mutas would be on the way, and that's a really tricky thing for Blly to do. So often it is a Roach Ravager push they have to worry about. You're really not worrying about scanning for a Spire or dropping to scout a Spire, and they should do some initial damage, but Blly with only 100 gas, he just put more of his bank into Roaches instead of Spire, so not too many are going to come out anytime soon.
Well, the Marines fight the best they can. This is a nice concave, but actually Blly's left a lot of roaches in the mineral lines. Now this may have been a mistake, because I think he thought, okay, I'll just distract with one side and kill SCVs with the other, but I think he could have actually taken on the entire army if all the roaches were fighting.
Yeah, maybe.
He did kill a lot of SCVs though.
17 SCVs is not bad at all, but 45 SCVs is still actually pretty good for KeeN. Of course, you will have to remake those, and a couple of mules went down as well, as they were somewhat fresh, so that kind of sucks. But Blly, you know, he got that Spire, still not using it. Tunneling Claws and Burrows on the way.
Right, I think the Spire was more of a just in case, but also maybe a later tech thing with Hive and whatnot. But this is really Tunneling Claws and Burrow and Blly. They all start with B, and they've also been around for a while. But this is something where I don't know what he's planning to do with this. Like, if it gets revealed even just once, he loses the element of surprise. It's not going to get enough damage done, and it's not fast enough to skirt under tanks the way it used to.
It certainly feels like he's changed his mind at least once, right? With that Spire looking a bit useless right now. Because if this was something where, okay, he never makes mutas, that's still understandable if he's on an infestation pit and continue to, like, you know, make roaches and upgrades. Okay, so that's a fast, like, Broodlord type of game. No, not even that. He starts his upgrade, he got the Tunneling Claws, it is just about pure roaches that won't even be that well upgraded. I mean, usually it's 2-2 before the Terran, and they gotta wait a while and just be on the defense. But here, it's not gonna happen. Unfortunately, KeeN might think that's gonna happen, and he'll just be on the defensive, like he is right now. Missile turret, bunkers, not pushing out. That'll give Blly a lot of time to, you know, continue making different choices and, you know, changing his mind every once in a while, and, well, not having to worry about him being pushed into.
That's a good point. But here's the Tunneling Claws, and they get revealed immediately. Now this is accidental because he was just trying to clean up creep.
Yeah.
But now suddenly the warning bells go off, and KeeN should have turrets coming down in almost every location.
He already had one, which really sucks. Blly was not going to have any surprise attack, regardless if that accidental scan went down or not. So the Hive is definitely a good option. It almost feels like the backup plan, but it probably was going to happen anyways. The Tunneling Claws were really supposed to buy a lot of time, and now they're not going to buy nearly as much.
No, I mean, I like the idea behind this. It's just, as we see, KeeN was ready to go with turrets as soon as Blly had himself caught out in the middle of the map like this. Now, if this was all in and this was Blly's only plan of attack and he had no other options, yeah, this failed pretty miserably. Oh, that was pretty sick. Splits off some of the roaches. Yeah, but the point is, like, he's going to get back here and hopefully kill some more SCVs. Unfortunately, unburrows by the refinery, so it doesn't target them.
Yeah, it was a cool idea. It didn't really work out. No getting into the natural either, it looks like. So Blly's attack, his aggression, his plan, not really working out so well so far, but, like, it's pretty cheap units. He's on 4 now, almost 5 bases. He's still matching KeeN on the army, and he's still getting like very important tech. Actually, getting 2 Broodlords again. I would imagine with a Spire being done, but
yeah. Interestingly enough, by the way, KeeN did just burn like 4 or 5 scans to do with like minimal amounts of roaches. So burning those means no mules. Kind of nice for Blly. Going to take a fight over here that will not be favorable.
No. Their scan went down. So KeeN is not getting a 4th base, by the way. He just figures he'll transfer over my main command center, which is not a terrible idea. Actually, I think with the flow of the game, the pacing of the game, it's pretty okay. The one downside, of course, being you can't just plant a missile turret and a planetary and be forever okay with that base, so it's got to be protected. It wasn't for a Greater Spire, by the way. It was for an Ultralisk Cavern for now. Of course, if the game goes on any longer, probably think about a Greater Spire. But I still find that surprising. The Spire does feel like a choice he regretted or just changed.
So what I find really interesting, actually, is we don't have a lot of Ravagers. I thought the Fungal Growth Ravager combo was what Blly was aiming for to transition out of this. But he's going to melee upgrades, and he's going for Ultras, which don't need a lot of upgrades. In fairness, they mostly just need their chitinous plating.
Yeah. Maybe he also thought that KeeN would be going faster into Liberators. We have seen that from a couple other Terrans, like almost preferring Liberators over tanks, which I don't really agree with, but it can happen. So that's why I got the Spire. Well, anyway. One Fungal went down, rather, in the middle of the map and did fairly okay. Got a chunk of the army. The drop in the main base is kind of returning those worker kills. Sees the Spire, too. It might be a good target, but goes to the Queens. And then drop in the 3rd as well.
That burrow was a clutch save on that Queen, by the way. Nicely done. Also burrowing over here to keep her alive. Army just kind of scattered left and right at this point. Blly's got a decent army to fight with, but that's the point. KeeN's not trying to fight him head on. He's trying to split him and get around him, and it's working. Lots of drones being picked off at this point. First Ultra gets popped, but you know what? Having lost that really screws with the timing on this. No chitinous plating in play for quite some time, making these Ultras very expensive, vulnerable targets instead of the deadly behemoths they're meant to be.
Well, he starts to get Liberators, realizing the situation, and of course it's just getting around that time for TvZ, but the Greater Spire is also on the way, so I think really, if Blly had the time to get Broodlords, get that over Ultralisk. But I don't think he has the time. KeeN has been clearing up the creep for a while now and is starting to get, a little confident pushing in here. If he can reach that ledge of what could have been Blly's 5th base, the other 5th base, that's a pretty hard position to break for the Zerg. But looks like a couple Roaches snuck past, feeling some SP damage.
I really love the harass that Blly's been able to pull off with this, despite the fact that it was revealed and basically thwarted so early. Base in the top right, gonna go down to a drop. 3rd base now falling apart. 4th base, excuse me, under that siege. Chitinous plating still halfway done, and Blly knows not to take an engagement. There's a good reason he's gonna bolt up hiding on top of that ramp. Until that chitinous plating is complete, he cannot afford to attack. There's no rebuilding these Ultras if they go down.
Yep. Especially as his base goes down on the top, that's a really nice snipe for KeeN. With just a Marine base drop too, so that's actually pretty bad for Blly. This position.
Oh, that gold just mined out. Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, this is getting really desperate. As both golds are mined out, the main does not have many minerals left over. Thing is, if you have any decent amount of mining, so whether it's 1 base or even half a base, if you can get up to, expansion bank, 300 minerals for Zerg, Ultras can usually buy you that time because they're such, effective units. They don't die very easily, and, Fungal's combined with it too. But he doesn't have the means to get a new hatchery.
So, all things considered, yeah, the income for Blly is screwed at this point. I really like his army composition. The question is whether it's going to be enough. The one Liberator, or the one Corruptors, whatever, that's kind of funny to see, but the Corrosive Biles combined with the Fungal Growths can kill everything here, whether it's Bio, Tanks, or Liberators, you name it. The Ultras might be able to soak the hits, allowing them to get in position to do said Corrosive Bile/Fungal combos, but I don't think this is a situation Blly can attack into KeeN. I think if KeeN attacks into Blly can definitely take a better fight. But knowing his position, losing that hatchery, no money behind this, I mean, he's not even trying. All the money he has just went into more Ravagers.
Yeah, it did. I mean, he could have tried to play the long game, maybe even double expanded had he had the minerals, but KeeN would have just been dropping left and right as he already is looking for those set expansions, so it really is just do or die right here. His army, it needs to not only break KeeN, it needs to get on top of his production. Oh, it can't pull back. There's no point in pulling back. What are you saving? Larva.
He's gotta go. He's gonna still segment some of the Ravagers back. I don't think he's got time at this rate.
Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. There's no answer here for Blly except to try and push. Maybe if he went around the right side, he could get 2 command centers. Maybe one lift off, the other one... Oh no, both lift off with orbitals. But he is not. Still worrying about drops that can't really do any more damage. This is like someone steals from your pockets, you have like no money in there, so you just like laugh at them. Like, what are you doing?
Thanks for the almost hand job, jerk.
Yeah, there's just nothing you're gonna help with. So, okay, he does go around. I do like that he thought about it for a second, realized there might be an opportunity there. But
it's like he heard you. Oh wait, it's a replay.
Yeah.
Alright, nice fungal growth. We'll pick off some of the SCVs, but KeeN's not nearly as hard up for money as Blly is, because KeeN is maxed out.
Yeah. Oh, just
Focus
about.
on the hive. It's gonna live for a little bit longer. Corsair Bile's hitting absolutely nothing. I don't know what that was.
Well, the Corsair... I guess I don't really mind the Ravagers being back here. I don't know how much 6 Ravagers will help you on the main push, but I certainly think the Queens could with transfuses. The only thing that'll really get those medevacs, though. Corsair Bile, speaking of which, trying to stop mining on this base and being pretty effective at it.
Where's the caustic spray, man? You got a corruptor.
I don't know how Blly has long distance mined almost 800 minerals, by the way.
Well, on top of the, what, like other 600 he used to transform all the Ravagers?
Yeah, that's pretty insane. But he now has a fairly healthy mining base, certainly well saturated. He could even get another expansion. And this is what could have happened 4 minutes ago. But, you know, I just figured KeeN would be dropping it left and right and he wouldn't get an opportunity to do so.
Oh, that tank being left alive just barely gets a lot of kills. And Blly is working with nothing right now. There's no remaxing behind this. Even with the hatchery coming back up, that's barely larva, much less the money to make anything with said larva.
That tank got so many units that were so low health. That actually really sucked. Because initially, you know, before I basically glanced back, it seemed like he was an okay army supply. Now, a lot more worrying. But Blly, I feel, is also surprised he was able to get that many minerals.
Oh, that EMP, though. Oh.
If KeeN never pushes out, though, to take advantage of it, then who cares? Oh, a couple Ravagers come down. As Blly, he could not just make more drones, which he just did. He could make more ultras. I can't believe it, but he can.
But the problem is the ultras will still get picked up by the liberators. There's not enough buffer around them. There's not 40 lings flooding in, right? Like it's just the ultras.
He still doesn't have a big enough army, but he could at least try. He's not using his 1,000 mineral bank, however. He's trying to do what he can with the army he has right now. There we go, 4 more ultras. I was also gonna talk about broodlords, but there's no time for that.
No, but he is taking out a good chunk of the liberators on the front line, but there's still that back line. There's still ghosts. There's still so much that's just gonna not be dealt with. As we see, the ultras are taking a not bad fight, but they get picked off. Focus fire on the Marauders and Marines is a little too much, and Blly is beaten back into a corner, and pretty sensibly. This is what you get for BMing at the start of a game, dude. Don't ever talk about another man's ping.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that. It's really gonna remember. Hey, this is game. Wait, well fought by Blly in the, an absolutely unwinnable position of no mining, basically. You got in total you got 3,000 more minerals with having no bases next to a mineral patch. Just long distance mining.
It is worrisome though, because this was the map I think you best take advantage of is Zerg, and if he can't take advantage here, how and what will he do on the other maps? So GG does get called.
GG.
KeeN gonna take game number 1 here in the finals. We are gonna go to a small commercial break though while we get the next lobby set up. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes. All right, back? Well, yes, we're back, but welcome back is what I had intended to say. It is the best of 5 grand finals for the Corsair Cup, a weekly tournament brought to you by our lovely sponsors over at Corsair. Spawning here, though, in the top left side, he's currently down 1 in the series. It's going to be... Okay, it's the pool. It's Blly.
In the bottom left, as the Red Terran, he is KeeN. Yeah, going for a pool first, probably in preparation of KeeN 3-raxing him, if I had to guess.
I don't know, because KeeN actually, for all these things that we could say about him, we haven't actually seen him do too much of that in particular. But Arena is a map that, if not for KeeN doing Raxes on, Blly could certainly start doing Overlord drops with. And I mean, between Lings and Queens, this map seems so unwinnable sometimes if you're not Zerg.
Yeah.
Polt is the only guy who makes that look like it's an easy defense. Everyone else still struggles, even when they do defend it.
Well, we'll see if it occurs. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you don't need an early pull for that build, but I was gonna bring up was you do need an early pull to get your Roach Warren started as fast as possible. So it is going to be an early Roach rush, but it's probably going to be the 3 Ravagers, like not very dedicated at all, of which you need to take seriously, but not too seriously, basically, by the Terran. Have 1 bunker and then you're pretty good.
Is that gonna kill the Overlord?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's definitely gonna kill the Overlord. Second Marine. Second Marine, buddy.
He's not really stutter stepping though. He's actually just kind of letting it auto attack, so it might just barely not kill it.
Oh my god, buddy, buddy.
Oh, he stutter steps like way too late. Okay, yeah, so Blly. Well, actually, he's gonna pull it really far back. Go into deep cover, man.
Yeah, expecting that Reaper, not a Marine, was a bit tricky from KeeN.
So, by the way, this will just be probably 3 Ravagers with maybe a 4th one added in a little bit later. But this is really good at providing pressure, and if there's no bunker, you actually can't hold this back early on.
But what is KeeN doing? KeeN's 5-raxing.
Okay, that's something you can certainly do. He's not scouted that there's any indication of Ravagers coming, but this game may not go well for Blly Zombie Grub.
Yeah, he's gonna think he's all cool and tricky with his roaches and how they're gonna probably kill like an SCV and maybe force the orbital to lift. Then he's gonna be attacked by like, this will rise in count quite quickly. Like suddenly it's 15 Marines, then suddenly it gets freaking 30 Marines, and you weren't expecting it.
Oh no! Don't let him in though.
Don't let him in. Oh Jesus! Well, this might be bad.
Okay, well,
even still, 5 racks should take.
Why? You should have sat on that depot. What are you doing?
That was a mistake. But yeah, three roaches assistance is fine with 5 racks. And he didn't technically scout that it was more racks, but this looks really suspicious. You'd have to have at least another racks, and probably with a reactor. So really, probably at least 3. I don't know if he guessed 5.
Well, regardless, the question is what do you really do? He's still droning is my problem for this, and Blly perhaps has underestimated the situation at hand. I mean, we never see proxy 3 racks work, but apparently non-proxy normal 5 racks does, question mark? I mean, like, come on, this is Blly.
Right?
This isn't some chump.
It's just so surprising. Now, I still think, even though you don't really guess 5 racks, I think that you know something is up. So the surprise has been a bit ruined thanks to that push.
With no gas taken until recently, KeeN's not going to have stim. Roaches are better than unupgraded Marines.
Yeah. Unless they're in pretty high number, which could have definitely happened. I don't think KeeN pushes out with only like sub 10 Marines unless he's scouted. He waits till he has like 15 or something and hides them too.
Let's not forget the Ravager's got not just range, but also sort of built-in speed, whereas Roaches don't. They require an upgrade for it, so kind of herping and derping down the middle of the map, but he's taking these Marines out no problemo. They're barely scratching and barely tickling him. Anything that gets low, he can just make it a full health Ravager.
Yeah, but what's still so funny about the situation is that no one's really winning off of it yet. KeeN, okay, he has sick production but no tech. That's okay as long as he can hold on to his economy, which is really not as bad as you would think, especially as he transfers the SCVs. Now, if he loses any, then that's obviously no Gusta, but there's the bunker finishing, and there you go. Only down by, only just now, 9 workers is not so bad with double mules.
Me gusta, zombie grub el mimio.
I like zombie grub memes.
I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
I think that was like fairly close, but you're missing like grammar.
Grammar? She lives in Vancouver. I ain't seen her in a couple months.
You know the words, not the grammar. Which explains. I feel like that explains most people's high school foreign language experience.
Oh yeah. I learned how to say words, not string them together. Yeah.
Like, we're only talking 1/10.
Mon pantalons dans les Eiffel.
Alright. Okay, so the game continues, and this is a far more interesting game than usually seen on Arena. And Arena usually gives varied interesting games.
Well, actually, what I'm worried about is if this bunker dies, I really do think the flood of lings, because there's going to be like 30-something lings, might just be a little too much. Now, what I will, if Blly could wiggle this Overlord in and get high ground vision to snipe that bunker, these Ravagers could do it. But he doesn't have high ground vision, so he has to poke up here every single time.
Well, getting 2 supply depots right off the bat is pretty good. That will supply block KeeN. Now, luckily...
Hey, Zombie Grub, are you KeeN supply block? Because you're 63 out of 62.
It's not even a thing.
10
anyway,
out of 10? I don't know, whatever.
Luckily, a lot of what he's waiting for is time-based, not supply-based. But of course, he has that 5x production he can't really use. It might still be okay. I mean, that's 7 Marines at a time. If he has to go back to his main, I think that'll be worth it. Save
like,
SPs.
I feel like Blly either wins or loses really hard with this push. It's going to be one or the other, even with that third base down. But he's catching this at a timing before Stim's done, before the combat shields is finished. Kills a lot of his own lings with that corrosive bile hit. He's killed a decent amount of workers with it, I suppose, but there's more lings on the way. And as stated before, without a bunker, it's pretty hard to hold against the Zerglings.
Yeah, 23 workers is probably enough. That's on top of what he killed earlier. That's probably enough. He's banking so many minerals, and he has a third base. If he was,
is done.
If he uses his bank, he'll probably hold on.
The reinforcements run in though. Is this going to be enough? Hold some of the units in place. Corrosive bios land. Most of this bio almost dead, but so are the Ravagers. A couple roaches are en route after this, but Blly's lings may just cut off the reinforcements. How is this going to time out?
KeeN lost a lot of his mining in the natural base. He managed to transfer some workers over. Oh, there's only 21 workers. Didn't really have that many to transfer over. This might still just work out in Blly's favor. In fact, it probably will. KeeN got too aggressive. He pushed too far. He should have waited. He should have gone into the main base, waited, chilled out until like even Starport was done. It's not even on the way.
I think he thought that this was pretty all in, that there wasn't a third base, that there wasn't drones, there wasn't mining. But I mean, this for Blly was economically supported. Not very well, mind you, but it was supported. And that being said, the last couple of units died. GG! Blly is going to tie up the series now 1-1. But for anyone just tuning in, this is the finals of today's Corsair Cup. These are replays not seen by anybody. They were from about, I guess, a little over 2 hours now ago. We just had them play while we're casting the Team Liquid map contest. So nobody knows the results of this. Myself, not even either, as I've been given spoiler-free replays. We're going to go to a small break, though, as we get into game number 3. It is tied up now 1-1 in this best-of-5 finals. Thank you for watching. See you soon.
The bottom left as the red Zerg. It's a Blly.
And I like Never Coronius says hashtag rely on Blly. Yeah, pretty much. It's Blly in a nutshell for you. But drone scouting is not something Blly usually does, but drone proxying more often.
How do you proxy a drone? Do you lift up a larva and then...
You know what? You build the hatch and you build a friggin' drone later, okay? Shut the front door, you sugared snap peas and carrots.
Oh, I hate peas. That is a pretty good insult. So, it's against the command center first.
Are you against peas?
Which is... I am against peas.
Wow.
I am anti-pea.
You know what's the difference between roast beef and pea soup?
Nope.
You can roast beef, but you can't pea soup. My ears! Ow! Don't do that. That's worse than like a scream for help. Whatever that was really hurt. Jesus. Okay, proxy hatchery goes down, and I think the worst part is KeeN is not scouting it. He's gonna go across the map and realize like, hey, something's amiss back at home. But when Blly does this, Blly doesn't do spine crawlers. Not usually, at least. It's usually going to be roaches and ravagers, and that same pressure we saw last game is going to be hitting him much, much earlier this game. And due to the way KeeN's walling as well, he's not going to have a bunker at the front. Or he might. No, he's really not. And he is going to be SOL, because doing the factory quick like this, oh no.
No, this is not good at all. So he sees the main, and he's like, well, they must be an expansion at the natural, like normal. Oh, that's a Roche Warren, though. So I better get prepared in, like, a minute, because it still has to finish, and then they still have to make their way across the map. But psych! It doesn't. It's just going to be right here with a queen.
Yeah. I really hope he builds a drone this game, by the way, so I can just tell you to shove it in your face. But here's where this gets really interesting. If KeeN actually defends this initially, then he defends it entirely. It's really easy to shut this down if you get ahead of it really early. The problem is getting ahead of it early is not something necessarily capable. I mean, he's going to try and get a tank and a medevac bouncing around. That's going to be great, but it's going to be 2 bunkers for defense initially, and that's not going to cut it.
It's just 2 bunkers with really nothing in them. So
yeah.
It is a big problem. So if you don't go for a CC first, I'm pretty sure you're getting I mean, you have to scout it still, so, you know, regardless of what you do, you still have to scout it. But the tank could already be, like, started as opposed to just starting right now, and that would be a lot helpful. But unfortunately, without a starport, it's still not a guaranteed defense.
Y'all, we gotta give some hype, by the way, to Dinwit. If he's in chat, make sure to give him some Tasia claps. He just bought a subscription to Arcade Block, our newest sponsor, and entered himself in for a chance to win that wrist board signed by all the players of DreamHack Austin, and even some of the casters. Most of the casters. In fact, I think I have more caster signatures, percentage-wise, than players, but still. Lots and lots of both. Enough to cover the box.
Because we count as casters.
Well, we don't cover the box on the inside, though, so it wouldn't work.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I wish you knew what you're talking about just once. It's embarrassing.
Anyway.
Tank gonna go down. Nicely done out of Blly. Yeah, that passive-aggressive silence. I felt it. The Queen, though, even has a chance to use. And
every time you do this, as this game is gonna end soon.
Every time you do this, an angel loses its wings.
No. My silence should just be insert chat burns in here, because they usually have some pretty good burns for me.
Okay, so you've just become lazy.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, Tank is gonna get picked off. Last line of defense. KeeN already pulled all the SCVs. GG gets caught, and Blly's gonna very quickly take a 2-1 lead now in the finals. But the question is, can he hold this together, or does KeeN bring it back? That was too short of a game. We're not playing ads. Let's just get into the next replay. Game number 4. This could be the last one. It could be the not last one. Great way to phrase that, Rifkin. Shut the front door and get into this lobby. Frozen Temple being the intro.
Nope, you own up to
don't
it.
care. Shut up. Let's see you guys in a sec. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You missed some serious miming during that intro. What were you trying to do? You were like making a box?
It's a secret.
Like,
I can't.
Rifkin, you're a shit. You belong in the kitty litter? Like, I'm not sure what that was indicating.
Put your shit in a box.
Get it together.
No, it was something I can't. It's a secret.
Okay. Well, hopefully. I just hope it wasn't offensive. Game number 4, of course. This is match point, possibly. Spawning in the bottom right, he is currently on his last life. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the blue Korean KeeN.
In the top left, as the red Zerg, he is Blly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you see what I was miming now.
See, I didn't look, and now okay. But okay. Zombie Grub is a great mime. And
yeah, when you have the context of it.
I'm really actually upset we didn't get to play charades while we were in Austin. We had the perfect opportunity.
I totally forgot.
Well, it's not actually entirely our fault. Tempo was always so busy hanging out with all the other people, so Robbie didn't have a partner.
Yeah, blame Tempo.
Actually, it would have been sweet to have played that at the Airbnb we were at. That would have been a good way to kill one of those nights.
Yeah, just get Tempo to Houston.
No, but I mean, Olivia could have partnered up or something.
Oh, that's right. Olivia was so salty. Like, we brought this up like 2 months ago. I don't tell a story. We brought up the idea of charades between me and Rifkin and Tempo and Fear Dragon, and Olivia was in the call, and she was like, "Bitches, what do I do?" Like, she said exactly like that. Like, she was super offended.
She could be the referee, man.
And she was like, I don't play like that.
So apparently loot boxes are 50 loot boxes for $40.
What? That's a lot of loot boxes. I never...
So here's the reason why I actually think that's cost effective, right? To get one level, like let's say even at the low levels, because obviously it takes more later, to get a level up and earn a loot box in the beta, that was one game. That one game's like 15-20 minutes, right? Okay. To get 50 of those, you would probably have to play well over the amount of hours equivalent to like minimum wage of earning $40. Like, it's actually, it sounds like a lot, but that's probably actually a very cost effective amount of boxes.
I was explaining because it was super cheap. I thought it was going to be $5 a box, to be honest.
Oh. Yeah, Blizzard, you dummies. We would have paid so much more.
We really... I think they made a major mistake.
I would have as well, yeah, maybe. But anyways, the question really is whether you get your skin in those 50 boxes or not. Because I know I've fallen into the Hearthstone trap.
They increase the amount of, like, you know, decals you get.
And decals, yeah, you're like, cool, I can spray Farah.
You get, like, 50 of the terrible Zarya skin, and you're just like,
Oh, it's such a bad skin, too. But okay, Lings are going to get into the base and be a little bit problematic. Blly, of course, is really known for his early game aggression, so KeeN should have known this was going to happen. The Reaper can't even like solo defend this on account of the fact that speed's finished, but looks like with the Marines pushing out, he's good to go. Still getting about 3 workers and a good chunk of the Lings out alive, though? That's not bad.
So, a lot of Marines, not really accompanied by much, just a single Widowmine here, but it is going to be a drop, so not actually very surprising at all, really. Widowmine drop on a tank, seen that billions of times, well, dozens of times.
See, billions is a pretty high estimate. I mean,
yeah,
but well, here's how that's an accurate number. You ready for this?
How?
The multiverse.
I don't understand.
We've each seen that build, say once, in an infinite amount of universes, so billions would actually be an underestimate.
Ah, I see. Well, that's only if you believe that theory. What if it's the Futurama theory, where it's only like, you get to the end of the universe, and like the other universe is like looking back in on you?
Homie, I'm trying to get your back here. Don't debunk the theory that's supposed to be helping your point.
Oh, okay, my bad. So
also, Futurama also had like Universe B and the
they had
Fighting
the box
Mongooses.
universes, that's right. Oh, those sons of bitches aren't consistent.
Well, no, it's still consistent. They went to the edge of the universe and one was facing back, one of the neighboring ones. There still could be like infinite amounts of neighboring those ones and other ones.
But you can't get to the other neighbors' houses?
Not without going through your neighbor's lawn.
Wow, it is rude. There's a sidewalk to the universe. This is deep, man.
It's not that deep.
Ooh, we have 2 starports backing this up for KeeN, and he is going to go for Banshees. Oh, so 2 more starports, I should have said.
2 more starports, yeah, so 3 in total.
Yeah, okie dokie then. So this is something that, this push, very common, really, the Widowmine drop, the tank push on Frozen Temple in particular, and it is usually backed up by normal bio play. So, in another 2 minutes, you'd have another tank push or Marine push, something like that. But this might be a complete surprise to Blly, who will be expecting bio and be surprised.
I'm jaded on this though, because this either works really well or it doesn't work at all. And when Zerg players get on top of this early, lots and lots of Queens will work. Going for quick spires also work. Oh, losing a medevac full of Marines, that's gonna hurt. But I just feel like Blly may have been distracted by this pressure for now. The second he actually realizes, like, oh, I have to just build some corruptors, like, they'll be fine. It's Banshees after all.
I keep forgetting.
Oh, let's not forget, Liberators also got slightly nerfed versus Corruptors too, so they do less damage to non-mutas.
We get to see that in effect.
Maybe.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I keep forgetting that I'm not on your camera, so I'm like this close to criticizing your camera skills for staying in one location for too long.
You're like, Rifki, can you move your camera? I'm like, woman, please, I've been trying.
Okay, so you're talking about like, oh, I used to usually build Corruptors, and the Liberators been nerfed, it's gonna be interesting to watch.
No, no. Wouldn't you just be criticizing your own camera skills in that?
Well, that's the thing. I'm actually just like shift following something until it dies, and then just staying in a position.
You could just like, what you should do is just control every unit on the field really quick, shift Q them all, and then take Control F. That way, as each of them die, they leave the control group, and you'll just follow the rest of the ones that are alive.
Amazing. Thank you for helping my laziness. So, anyway, Aspire is being built regardless of Blly scouting what's actually happening, because he still hasn't. This is the first indication that something's amiss by having so many mech units.
Yeah, the amount of Hellbats coming this late, you're either like, this is a push, you messed up the macron, or you've just gone straight up some other direction. So the mutas coming out are going to be an interesting choice. They will not be that great versus Liberators. They still maintain the same damage. There is no buffs to them. They maintain the same damage now that they had pre-patch. But what does change the damage they deal to Corruptors, which is why I thought maybe that's the direction Blly was going to go. But Hellbats get cleaned up by Lings, surprisingly enough. The Liberator still stands, barely. The Banshees aren't going to be able to finish off this hatchery by the looks of it, so that's nice. But not worth losing the Banshees over, I feel.
Not losing everything, I guess. Like the Hellbats, Liberators, and the Banshees all together. Not worth a single hatchery kill, as we've seen, especially in games that are going to last a long time, which is one probably will. 300 minerals in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. And Blly is banking 1,500, so a double expand will probably be in order. Anyway, So that's an easy fix. As Blly realized what's going on, yeah, he built the mutants. You said, you know, they still can do something, but they're not really the end-all be-all. The infestation pit, the hive, corruptors, maybe even a second spire. Those are all things that are really gonna directly counter what KeeN is doing, or try and counter him. I was a little surprised to see Blly not, like, the mutants or whatever. They're kind of like the thing he wanted to get to push back the fight as well as maybe a little bit of harassment. That's fine. But the Hydraless Den being the immediate response to, like, oh, that's what's going on was a little odd for me, because he never went for, like, you know, roaches, obviously. So I thought Corruptors would have been the extra here. But it is Hydras, and he's even upgrading the Hydras. I really don't think they'll do fine by themselves, especially if KeeN, like, realizes it, because he can start building Hellions as much as he doesn't really want to right now. They could definitely help against a pure Hydra army.
So some folks in chat are asking what boxes we were discussing earlier. We're talking about the loot boxes in Overwatch. Luckily, what I do like is hopefully they didn't do some bullshit where you gotta like buy keys and find keys in game. Like I think you just open loot boxes, like not like loot crates and CS and all that. So that'll make it more manageable and nice to use. Because the worst would be like, yeah, I got a box. Oh, I gotta spend $5 more on a stupid key for the dumb box. And
yo, the one day, because it was literally a day that I played CS:GO.
Oh.
Yeah, that happened. And then yes, on Armello, that happened.
Yo, so there's a game called Armello where the same sort of dynamic is there, and we had to find a key, but we couldn't. And it's not default. Default is buy more boxes. So I thought I bought a key, and I just ended up buying another box. And I'm like, no, what do? I got 2 boxes I can't open. This is ridiculous. I hate that business model.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, the Hydras were driven back. The planetary held really nice because it was, in fact, well, a planetary. The thing that's kind of worrisome going forward, though, I'd say for KeeN more than Blly's, we are going to have those parasitic bombs come into play eventually. But the fact that the Hydra count's already so high, that is certainly alarming for KeeN. But if he decides to keep this up, maybe eventually move to battle cruisers, maybe just heavily invest in the Liberators, he'll be fine. This run by up to the north from the Hellions is really nice. It's just mineral-based units. It's not going to lose too much for this.
Yeah, it really is, I think, worth it, as your mineral bank is not... It never seems to be as large as it was on Heartless Swarm for whatever reason. Actually, I've been seeing a couple of games where the gas bank is surprisingly large, as it is right now, really, for KeeN. But anyways, that committing to 200 minerals per cycle, because he only has one factory, is worth it, especially if the composition is going to be mostly Hydras right now on the ground. Alright, so we have Vipers on the way, still no Corruptors, and still no second Spire, so I think those are things you're going to need if the game is going to go on for, like, you know, 30 minutes, basically. Yeah. like the first game we saw of the day, 7 hours ago. But if you're looking to, I guess, kill them before it gets to that point, then it's you know, other options are available, like this, where KeeN just runs his Liberators into an army.
Yeah, and of course there's only about 1 tank back here blocking this out. I'm surprised he didn't keep pushing the issue. A parasitic bomb still holstered and ready to go. Abducts may be better, but a blinding cloud actually hits both the planetary and the siege tank. Now these Hydras can fight a little bit better, but backing away because once again, Liberators are really good.
The Liberators, some of them have to unsiege here and go deal with the mutants, which are still alive, by the way. Like, I like that Blly didn't just say these are going to be useless. Yeah, and kept them alive so they can just poke and prod, because KeeN doesn't really, you know, there's not a huge bank, especially right now, he just used it all, to build missile turrets to make them utterly useless in a counterattack scenario. So keeping them alive until you need that supply, which might, again, happen. KeeN, by the way, went for not only more starports, but a second factory. And I wonder if this is something that we saw with BC Cutie. Oh, Jesus Christ. Feigen. God,
Jesus,
anyway.
crepes and pancakes.
Yeah, seriously. Where you start to also build siege tanks to kind of cover the ground. If they are going to go for Hydras, if they are going to go for Queens later on, tanks can actually be a very good supplement to your air.
Well, at least it's put in hold position, going to kill a couple more SCVs before going down. Nicely done out of Blly to maximize the use of those units. Meanwhile, going to open up the doorway here on this side, but the question really comes down to how do you deal with these Liberators? No Corruptors in play just yet. He's still looking for Ultras. A transition through that might be pretty nice. I know we had a laser talking about that the other day, but Abducts go off, and this is going to force the Liberators to unsiege. Also gets the kill on the Orbital. Not huge, but nice.
Yeah, nice enough. A blue flame is actually on the way as KeeN continues to invest in not only starport units, which I like a lot. I guess that was less for tanks and more just for that upgrade. Of course, I need a tech lab for it. All right, well, either way. Upgrade's still on the way for Blly. He is upgrading out of his Spire now as well. Even though he doesn't have his double Spire, it's still, I think, worthwhile to get those Carapace upgrades especially started and ramping up. Ultras might seem like a bit counterintuitive because Liberators will deal with them fairly quickly, but if you're gonna get a scenario where you're gonna, you know, ideally take out the Liberators, then that'll be fine. If the Ultras just run through the Liberation zones, that's also fine. I don't like them, really, I'm just gonna be honest here. Ultras as the late game answer, but I can certainly see why some people will use them.
Some people?
Yeah, those type of people.
Those? Okay. Actually, I think that pairing up with like some of these run-bys are going to not be bad. I mean, look at this. They get cleaned up by Blue Flame so quickly. But an Ultralisk, that doesn't go down very easily at all. So
That's certainly true.
we're going to worry about Banshee still. Some mutas did live from earlier from that Massacre. This going to be nice to have this anti-air available. But more turrets going to be needed at some point. These don't have speed, so the Banshees aren't too hard to deal with. More Hellions looking to run by, looking to run around. These Ultras, though, should be able to deal with them. Where are they popping at? There's one coming over here, I think. Yeah, one over here, but it's going to lose a whole mineral line for it. Ouch.
6 Ultras is more than just like a run-by potential. That is now most of his army. Of course, it's pretty supply-heavy.
If you're watching the VOD of this, rewind 2.5 minutes on rechat, guys, and look at the over chat. Hilarious! She's burning people more than these Blue Flame Hellions.
Heyo, it's my favorite thing to do.
CGP fight.
Yeah. Alright, so, like I said, like, this is more than just run by. If you're gonna commit 6 Ultras to something, you better hope they run by and continue to keep running by. Because if they get trapped, they're going down to Liberators pretty quickly, and they are a big waste of money.
Yeah, they didn't get the SCVs. Nothing here was really gutted. It did force some of the army out of position, but not able to take advantage of it. I was expecting Blly to push in simultaneously. Knocking down more rocks. He's got some infestors paired up with this. Fungal growths will be kind of nice to have. Oh, those Vikings. He stands for it, though. He's got to realize he can't go forward with those. Ultras are going to be able to escape the Liberators. They'll be barely, but still escape.
Yeah, Banshee.
But Blly could still be expanding while this goes on. The problem is he's really putting a lot of pressure and focus on stopping one of these bases, namely this one down here. And I can't say that it's going to be worth it, opposed to just getting so much money, such a huge bank behind this.
Liberator harassment's a little bit questionable at this point, by the way. Like, there could be Corruptors waiting, but he's going to try it. Going to that top right base again. Top base.
Rip.
Swarm hosts have also been changed. Something we didn't really talk about because I don't think we figured we'd see them, but they are much cheaper.
So they cost more supply, though, is the consequence. So you really can't have that many, especially when you consider you're going to have other units playing out. But what's nice about this, and what I think is certainly cool, is you're in a position like this where you got to break Liberators. Liberators can either shoot up or down, so they're not going to be like, if they're sieged up, they can't shoot the Locusts once they've landed. And if they aren't sieged up, they can't siege up in time to usually stop the Locusts once they've landed. They do so much damage so quickly. But I also like recognizing that this could be a long game. Like, Blly doesn't know whether this will go to 28, 38, 48, 58, 68 minutes, right? Like, the question is, can he make enough use out of these Swarm hosts? With their long cooldown being what it is, it's really hard to justify getting them a lot of the time. But
it is questionable with Banshees and Hellions available, too. Like, the problem is that they really have to be safe and harass.
I don't know what happened.
They're not going to attack with the main army for the most part, but they're not very quick. So where mutas are just attacking in and getting right out, Swarm hosts kind of have to waddle their way away, and they lose so many.
I love these parasitic bombs coming out of Blly. These Vikings here are just taking so much damage. One even pops off. Ouch.
There's nothing that Swarm hosts can do over here now. Just go to the left. Just give up.
Well, so it was kind of cool to see the power of those Locusts, though. They really did just destroy all those Hellions in like 1 second flat. So the reality is, like, Swarm hosts are strong, and their ability is so much better than it was in its old iteration. But the cooldown is what makes that such a tough choice.
Yeah. I do wonder, maybe even if they were just faster, because if they're going to be mostly a harassment unit, which seems like it's really the only option they can fill is attacking and running away, then they got to be faster or something, like being able to automatically burrow move. But there's not much else purpose for them.
Well, I'm surprised that's... So I guess it'd be OP, but I'm surprised that you get an ability like teleport in the battle cruisers, right? But the tunneling through the creep ability never made it out of the campaign for Zerg.
Tunneling through the creep?
You could burrow in one position on the creep and unburrow like literally anywhere else, as long as there was creep there.
I don't remember that at all. Oh, okay then.
it was for Swarm Host. I don't know if it was for all units.
Oh, I guess I never made Swarm Host in the campaign.
What?
I was ahead of my time. I was ahead of my time.
There's a whole level dedicated to being like, yo, this is how Swarm Host works, girl.
Really? I really don't remember them being able to unburrow anywhere else there was creep.
Oh, well, maybe you probably didn't unlock the biostrain by then.
Maybe that's it. Also, I have only ever played the campaigns late at night while having to go to school the next morning, so that might have affected my memory. Yeah, I was in college. I just remember going to a 9 a.m. class, and then when Legacy Void came out, I had to teach a class at 9 a.m.
Okay, that one I understand, but I thought when we started casting was probably around that same time, no?
No, we were casting a good year and a half, 2 years into Heart of the Swarm.
Okay.
Heart of the Swarm came out 4 years ago. That would have been 21.
I guess, yeah, I kind of forgot about the whole beta phase of like this being not as long as it... Okay, cool. Wow. Jeez.
Yep.
Whose hands are these? Why are they so old?
Yeah, we are old, aren't we? Thank God we're not pro gamers.
You know what's
we'd
funny?
Be washed up by now.
Everyone I meet that's younger than me tells me that I'm old. Everyone I meet that's older than me tells me that I'm young. I'm like, fuck you guys.
That's not always the way it goes. By the way, Bly's like older than us, so I can't really say it's, you know, he'd be washed up by then.
It's older than you.
Oh, that's, yeah, you're right, actually.
So by the way, nice fungal growth slash corrosive bile, or sorry, fungal growth slash parasitic bomb combos. Why did I forget that name? Takes out a lot of the Vikings. Because I am. Shut the front door.
It makes a lot of sense. All right, this hatchery might just go down to the last two banshees. And so much
nope. Keeps it alive.
All right, that was pretty close.
Also, nice try with the weird high-pitched voice noises, but that's my department.
Oh, I'm sorry. My department is so high-pitched that it causes your ears to bleed.
That's like fake laugh. Oh my god, that was so bad. What was that earlier? Jeez.
It was my defense call.
It's like the opposite of Xena, man. Jesus. Okay, Vikings are gonna chase the one single Viper, but it's got a couple of friends. None of them have parasitic bombs, though, so don't run. Just run.
Run. I was gonna say the Swarm Host is still trying to do damage. I'm not doing a very good job. Oh, Swarm Host or Vipers going down. Painful. More Vipers, though. Always more Vipers.
Yeah. Any day now, please. Thank you for the 20-month resub
exactly
here in the
what
finals.
I'm thinking.
The thing is right now, I don't know which direction this really shifts the favor of. It's looking better for Blly because he's got a bank and better mining. But KeeN, while he doesn't have a lot of money, still has an army that's been really hard to break.
Well, yeah, that is generally the way things go with any variety of mechs. So. I don't know how KeeN is going to push forward, though. He needs this base where Bly's army now is, for sure. And I think he's just kind of given up on the bottom left, to be honest. Like, it's mined out, it's not his problem anymore. Sending Hellions to harass is still a good idea, of course, but don't know if he's going to ever be able to expand down there.
Well, looks like we might have a fight brewing up here in the top right. I mean, Bly's really trying to position himself. More Vipers are on the way. Might want to go 13 deep. I don't know, but to continue to expand and try and lock down these bases. These Banshees with speed are certainly being really tough to deal with. Oh, the Hellion run by over here is pretty dang sweet. The Swarm should be able to deal with it. It's not a good use of Locust, but it gets the job done. Yeah,
it's like the worst use. The Banshees are also cleaned up, so nicely brings a couple of Hydras with them. That could have been a dead base otherwise. And Blly still has certainly enough of a bank to remake those drones, so not devastating damage yet, but hope, you know, you hope every single time you do it, they just won't remake the drones and eventually their bank will be depleted. Oh, Corruptors peeing on things. Amazing.
Caustic Spray hype!
I really want to see them spread and take on the Liberators. Oh well. Oh well.
I told you to spread, that wouldn't be very
and take on Liberators?
I mean, that could be the name of your toy.
Plural? Okay.
I mean, I don't know how adventurous you are. You seem pretty reserved, but you know, those are the girls that usually get kind of crazy.
I also thought about being a redhead, so.
What does that have to do with it?
The last time I bring up like that I was almost gonna be a redhead, some guy brought up.
Whoa! A lot of parasitic bombs coming down.
Oh.
Speaking of red, the health bars on all these liberators just dipping to oblivion.
Good segue.
Dying.
Well, the Vipers also died for that though.
I think it's easier to, because KeeN's position, Blly doesn't know this for certain, but he knows he has map and more importantly base control, and has to guess that KeeN doesn't have a lot of gas. I mean, he's killed a lot of Banshees this game. He's traded out these Vipers pretty cost effectively for the most part. I mean, replacing these Liberators is actually not going to be that easy. In fact, how many have actually died? 13 Vipers for the cost of 28 Liberators and 24 Banshees.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, Blly doesn't have those numbers, but he's got to know, like, you stopped 3 different times with 4 Banshees here and there, a couple Liberators. I mean, he's got to have an idea.
For that count, I really would have thought the unit's resources lost would have been much more different.
Well, I guess when you consider there's, like, shitty, like, lots of Ultras that died for nothing and things like that.
Yeah, tons of drones, too, I think. Up to 82 for KeeN killed. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Infested Terrans! That's all of the Infestor's energy. That might not have been worth it, I don't know. Hatch is gonna go down. This is all just to clean up the base so he can take it, though. This really isn't him pushing forward for a win.
Yeah. I like that we finally some Corruptors out, and Blly has been upgrading them slowly in the background. So they got +3 Carapace. Again, these are going to be so good versus Liberators now. That's why Vikings are such a bigger necessity. Huge priority in trying to make those.
The bottom left base was killed. Spore Crawler is starting to bleed out. But it's being remade. They're gonna explode! They're gonna explode! Blech.
I'm not looking. I don't care. I'm rubbing my eye now.
4, 3, 2, 1. Blech. Those are the ones.
Wow, where'd they all go? I looked away for 1 second and they're gone.
I know, it was amazing.
We still have the Locust being utilized through the, or Swarm Hosts through the Locust down here, which is, this is surprising to me. To still see these Swarm Hosts alive and well and being used 10 minutes later.
Right? Especially since like 2 or 3 of them died right off the bat. But whatever they can do, I suppose. I'm just more surprised.
Oh my god, that's a lot of Banshees.
The bottom base.
This is going to kill a hatchery so quickly. This can take on Spore Crawlers with the amount of Banshees there currently are. Oh my god, look at the look at the damage.
It's a lot of damage, yeah.
It's like a missile machine gun.
A fight went on, kind of, almost, I should say, where Blly started taking some pretty good abducts in here.
But these
lots of
splash
corruptors available.
You know what? Even with the damage nerf, that splash damage was still pretty intense. If Bly's clumped up, he's going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Definitely don't do that. So, okay, Banshee's still running rampant down the left side of the map, but they're being drawn into maybe Spore Crawlers. Oh, KeeN is paying attention, so he's killing a couple of Hydras, not for free though, mind you. And this is a pretty important harassment force that can't be easily replaced. Swarm Hosts are still trying to do something.
I mean, look at that damage though. Seriously. Top right, Fungal catches some of the SCVs. You talked about that base needing to be taken because this is the last 3 mineral patches. There's a couple in the main, ironically enough, actually, but for the most part, KeeN's out of money. KeeN's out of juice, and Bly's taking a brand new base. He's still sitting on like 1,700 himself.
Seems like 1,500 minerals in his main base. Oh, but no gas, so he's in a pickle no matter what.
Just drop some mules. Have a good time. Easy peasy. He's going to try and go for the break. Fungal growth catches a lot of these Liberators, forcing them to share the corrosive vials, or sorry, the parasitic bombs. Done it 3 times now this game. But the Corruptors were clumped up. They took the splash. He's trying to back away. The air army of KeeN's all he has to rely on. But Blly, he's going to fish Spore Crawlers in a minute. There's nothing really left to fight this army. And while Blly is losing out what's here and now, he's 5 more Corruptors than anything else he'd like with link spam coming across the map. He can bring the Hydras over. He is bringing the Hydras over.
I was going to say, Hydras absolutely wrecked the rest of this army. There's only 1 Liberator, no, 2 Liberators are alive. Okay, there's 3 more coming in on sieging from that base, but KeeN needed this base to mine. Doesn't get it. Gee.
He's going to be your Corsair Cup winner for the Corsair Cup 21. We are on 7 hours and 56 minutes of this Skype call. That's how long we've been casting for today, guys. Since 10 a.m. this morning, had a great time with the Team Look Map contest. Now we wrap this up here with the Corsair Cup. And I want to thank you guys for joining us through all of it. This was a lot of fun. We had a lot of really good games. And the finals was Not what I expected. I think, as funny as it is, I actually, even though KeeN's a Korean player, and he's a good Korean player, we would have gotten a quote-unquote better finals out of Drogo versus Blly, maybe.
Maybe.
They played just recently for IEM, and that was a pretty good series to cast there as well. But this finally wraps it up for us, guys. So we're gonna go play some breaks. We'll come back. We'll talk about other things, sponsor shoutouts. But the biggest one would be, if you want to help us out with Corsair, guys, click the links down below. Go down the stream. Find out more about Corsair. Buy stuff if you're willing. But even if you've got no money, you got no intention of buying anything, clicking the links and checking out their website, you might see something cool. You might see something that you hope to win in a giveaway. Or you just click on the link to help us out. Either way, scroll down on the Twitch page and get your ass going. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Okay, we're back. It's up.
Boxes.
Big Grub is really excited about Overwatch. So am I, without a doubt. I guess I'm going to suck it up and try playing. Maybe we'll keep the stream on for it. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching the Corsair Cup. Got to give some shout-outs again to Corsair, making all this possible. Cool stuff in the works for them that we can't really spoil yet, as much as I would really like to. But as well as our other sponsors, so TransferGaming.com, TransferGaming.ca, whether you're using the American website or the Canadian website, you can get $20 off your purchase of a DX Racer plus free shipping and handling, which is kind of like icing on the cake, I suppose. On top of that, we got G2A. You guys know the deal. Promo code BASE. Buy Overwatch. If you're buying Overwatch, we actually have a link to Overwatch for cheap on G2A in the stream down below. Click on that, and if you buy it through there, we'll get credit for your purchase. Yord's got $20 going for this wood watch thing, as we got the sale for Father's Day coming up. Also, any watches purchased basically from now until Father's Day will contribute to the prize pool of the Civil War. So we're already up to like $1,300 or something like that, I think. Well, there's taxes, but minus that. So a lot of money. And yeah, tomorrow morning we're going to be back with Blly and Scarlet and Snoot and Euthermal, and then of course in the I guess immediate follow-up whenever that concludes, we'll be hosting the Yord tournament Civil War. Couple of best of threes over there. We'll probably do about 3 to 6 on the first day and see how long that goes, and do more for another day afterwards. But lots of good stuff coming tomorrow, so make sure you guys stick around and follow the channel for all of that good stuff. However, I'm going to take the stream down just so I can restart it with no delay so we can play some Overwatch. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So, Zymer, any final words before we go?
Follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming. Okay.
And donate to her for loot boxes.
I already bought them.
I cannot buy any. I have to wait. I really have to get this dentist thing covered. So, I'll have to earn mine like a pleb.
Pleb.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching today. It was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. And, again, we got StarCraft every single day this week. Even Overwatch is out, we got StarCraft every day this week. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye!